What's up guys, it is Aaron here, and so it's definitely been a while, and I was going to come back with my little apartment tour. I'm in my apartment right now. It's empty, as you can see. But first, I think I owe it to you guys, and I owe it to myself to not fall back into bad habits and pretend that everything has been okay, because it hasn't. If you guys haven't noticed, I have been kind of in and out of social media, and on YouTube I'll kind of feel good for a second, and then I'll come back, and then I kind of life just slaps me in the face again, and then I'm like, bleh, I don't want to do anything. So I'm one of those people that just really try to act like everything around me is perfect. I am perfect, and I have everything together, and I'm a control freak, and I can deal with all my issues on my own, and I've got it, and I'm good to go. Let me just first say that depression, anxiety, mental issues do not discriminate. It doesn't matter what you look like, it doesn't matter your financial status, your social status, how many followers you have, what school you go to, anything. It can creep up on you, and it is real. You know, I think about when everything started to kind of unravel for me was when everything changed for me on YouTube, and it's when I came out and my whole life changed overnight. And as I entered into my 20s, I had all this experience and all these things happening, and I put myself on this pedestal of being perfect again, and just trying to live up to these expectations that I set for myself and what I thought other people had for me, and just trying to be like, I don't know, I just wanted to know how to say everything right. I wanted to know how to answer everyone's questions perfectly. And basically, if you haven't noticed, I wanted to just be perfect. And with social media and everything nowadays, it's this constant comparison. We're all trying to live these like over-exaggerated versions of ourselves, and in reality, it's just really hurting us. I don't want to villainize social media at all, because social media, I think, is like anything else. If you abuse it, it can hurt you, but there's so many things that are good that come from it. We can have these kind of conversations, and we can share our stories and be connected to one another and make ourselves laugh, and there's so many different things that are good from it, so I don't even want to ever villainize it, but it can definitely have a toll on your mental health if you let it. So as I started to enter into my 20s, I started to kind of feel like I was living this double life. I wanted to be this perfect person to all of you guys and everyone on Instagram and everything, and like I have it together. But in reality, behind the scenes, I was going out with my friends. I was kind of just masking a lot of feelings that I was having about like where I was going in my career and in my life, and what was going on with like alcohol, and I was jumping into weed. It's legal in California, so you know. And I was abusing those things and using them as a band-aid over the way I was feeling. I don't know, I just really started in those moments to self-sabotage. And time went on, 2 years went on, and I find myself, long story short, in this after party. I literally think about an after party in Hollywood. That's what it looked like. It was drugs were everywhere. It was craziness. And I remember looking around, and I was like, Aaron, this is not your life. This is not what you came here for. This is not your calling. This is not what you should be doing. And I got really sad in that moment, and I felt really lost in this dream that I had for myself. There was just something inside of me that was telling me that like, this isn't for you. And there was, at that moment, there was so much going on in my life that felt right, and it was kind of everything that I was wanting, and there was a lot happening for Austin and I was just like, I can't do it. And so I thought that moving back to Ohio and just starting over would just solve everything, and I don't know, I just thought it would all kind of fall into place, and I just didn't really understand what I was feeling. And so I came back to Ohio, and reality started to set in for me, and I moved into a new apartment. I showed you guys, and then in that moment, I kind of just started to feel like I was failing. I started to see my friends on social media at all these events again. I saw them doing things that I wish I was doing, and it really took a toll on me. I was in my bed for days. I was sad. I didn't really, I was eating way too much. I was just kind of masking, which sounds silly, but I was just kind of masking all of my different feelings with things that made me feel good. So alcohol again, I was abusing that on my own by myself, which was definitely started to get really dark. It was just like not good for me. And I remember there was this moment that a friend of mine reached out and he was like, hey, how are you doing? And just randomly, and I was like, I'm good. It was just kind of like caught me off guard, and he responded again with, no, like, how are you doing? And that one got me, because I then had to face the fact that like maybe people around me were realizing that there was something going on. And you guys did as well. You guys were hitting me up quite a bit and being like, are you okay? What's going on? And I'm here for you, which made me feel really good. I just wasn't really wanting to talk about it, nor did I really understand how to talk about it or how to articulate what was going on. And so I started to move forward. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get myself together. This was probably like 4 months ago. I'm gonna go work out all the time. I started feeling outwardly confident again. I was like, again, I'm a control freak, so I was like, I got this. And I started to just really start to make some movement in my life that would make me feel better. And then all of a sudden, I slipped right down the little slope again, and I started feeling sad. And I remember I woke up one day, and a couple weeks had gone by, and I was like, Aaron, you cannot go back to this. Go back to that person. And in that moment, I just felt so ashamed. I felt so broken. I felt like I was trapped inside of this world that I had created for myself. I just felt low. I felt really fucking low. And I decided that I just needed help. And that was the hardest thing for me to admit to myself, because it meant that I had a problem that I couldn't solve. And I realized that sometimes our problems are bigger than us. And so I decided to finally look into depression. And as I started to go through the symptoms, I realized that, oh my goodness, this could be me. And so I went online and I was like, how do you deal with depression? And it said, maybe you should see a therapist or go on medication or see a doctor or whatever. And I hadn't been diagnosed with it or anything, so I decided to get a therapist. And I went online and I started researching LGBT therapists in Ohio, and I found somebody that her picture looked great. She was in my insurance, which, by the way, your insurance, it does cover therapy sessions. I think mine's only like $20 a session, which is great. But I gave her a call and I scheduled my first appointment, and I've now been in therapy for the last month, and it's been honestly the best thing that I could have ever done for myself. She's giving me tools to kind of deal with the thoughts that I'm having, and in those sessions I was finally told that I was clinically depressed, which, saying that word aloud makes me emotional, because I was running from that for so long, for literally years, because I never wanted to have a problem, but asking for help and getting that help has been the best thing that I've ever done. And the reason I'm making this video is because I want you guys to know that behind the scenes, everything wasn't perfect for me, and I still have a long way to go with my mental health and like where I'm at, but it's getting better, and I can genuinely say that. And I'm just so excited to get back to where I used to be, and I want you guys to know that you're not alone, and that if you're feeling sad or confused, there's changes happening in your life, that there's people out there that can help you. And again, sometimes your problems are bigger than you and you need help, and it's okay to ask for it. So that is it for this video, and I will see you guys with more peppy content soon, happier content, but I just really wanted to share my story with you. And yeah, so I'll see you soon, and bye guys.